I'm super excited to introduce Ezra Firestone to the stage. I've known and followed Ezra for a number of years. I am an admirer of the content that he produces. I've actually been sitting downstairs talking to him about the content that he produces to understand how we can produce better content at Seller Labs. And I know he's got a lot of great stuff to tell you about how he's built multi-million-dollar Amazon businesses, Shopify businesses, and just e-commerce businesses. So thank you and welcome, Ezra.
Thanks, man. How you doing? Appreciate it. How you guys doing? Yeah? Oh, that's a good response. Oftentimes it's not that enthusiastic. This guy hands me this thing and he says, whatever you do, do not push that button. I have to admit, I'm quite tempted to just push this button and have us all kind of find out what happens. Jeff, do we know what happens if we push the button? And I feel like, come on, guys. I know we're here for business and all, and yeah, but come on, let's try it. Oh, it's a laser pointer. Got it. Don't put, okay. So I guess he doesn't want to get in anyone's eyes. That's fair. I should probably start, huh? Okay. No? Yes? All right, I'm going to start. So we're going to talk about how to sell more product. I thought a lot about how to communicate to a group of mainly Amazon sellers, my viewpoints on how you can sell more product. And rather than going into a specific sales process, such as like a video ad that filters through a landing page that then goes to your Amazon listing, or an ad from Facebook or Instagram direct to your Amazon listing, or anything like that, that it would be better to kind of bring you into the world of what's going on in paid amplification today so that you can take advantage of it. So, whoa, what happened? There we go. Oh, look at that. You see that? Watch this. Bam! Check that out. My name is Ezra Firestone. I don't have slides now. I do. I have a team of 75 people. And this is my sales from yesterday for one of my Shopify stores. Here's last month, and this is so far this year. So we sell a lot on our own website. We also sell on Amazon, do a couple $1 million a year on Amazon. And in 2017, we did $25.1 million in revenue across our brands. By the way, the reason I'm giving you these stats is not to like show off, but in this industry, the way that you kind of display that you know what you're talking about is you show your revenue numbers. So we sell a lot, and we're profitable. We don't just sell a lot and break even. Like, we make $4 or $5 million a year, $6 million a year in profit on these businesses, and I want to talk to you specifically about how we do that. Now, to generate that $25.1 million in revenue, we spent $6.2 million on paid amplification. On Facebook, Google, Instagram, mostly those places. My viewpoint is that for any physical product business, Amazon or otherwise, there is a perfect ratio of top-line revenue to how much you spend on paid amplification. I believe that most people in this room aren't spending enough on their businesses. I believe that most e-commerce business owners in general, I've been in this industry as an influencer and an educator for about 6 years now. I've been in e-commerce since 2005, and consistently, I find that people do not spend enough of the money that they generate back into reinvesting in amplification to grow their brand. So I think there's a perfect ratio. I think that you should be spending 15 to 30% of your top line number back on paid amplification. If you make $1 million a year, you should be spending between $150,000 and $300,000 on paid amplification. Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Instagram ads, Amazon sponsored search, like that. That's not profit. That's of your top line revenue number. And if you look at our brand, you can see that we did $25.1 million. I think we're having these little glitches. Did it just go black for you there? No? I'm getting glitches here. Anyways, oh, I guess I could see what you see right here. How about that? So that's 24.7%. So that's kind of like the perfect ratio. It's what you're looking for. If you're not quite there, you're not growing as fast as you could be. And I think that there's a breakdown of what this budget should look like. So about 50% of your budget should be spent on generating awareness, so getting new people in. And the other thing to understand, this is what happens with people who use paid amplification to grow their business in our industry, is they'll spend a little bit and then they'll stop. They'll spend for 3 days and then they'll stop. They'll run a promotion and then they'll stop. No workout program or diet has ever worked. If you just like, anyone in here, we got any bros in here who just swole city? Anybody? Nobody? All right. You ever seen one of these swole dudes? They're not lifting for 2 days and then stopping. They're doing it every day, right? Like, part of the thing that makes a paid amplification business work is consistency with it. You pick your budget and you spend that money every single day. So half of your budget should be spent on generating new people, getting them into your orbit. 40% of it is spent on re-engaging people who've seen you once before or twice before or 3 times before, getting them back into the game. And then 6% is cross-selling and upselling people who bought from you once before, and 4% is just content amplification, getting people who are in your orbit to kind of re-engage with you. So this is a good breakdown of what your budget should look like. And we're going to talk specifically today about off of Amazon, because when you look at my business, of that 25.1 million, only 2 million was made on Amazon. The rest of it's made on our own website. My viewpoint, and this is a controversial one, and this is not meant to talk down on an Amazon business model. I think Amazon businesses are awesome, but I think they're more of a cash flow business than an asset. An asset is you have a bunch of customer data, you can remarket to those customers anytime you want, you can sell that to someone else. Amazon businesses are really wonderful cash flow, but they're less valuable assets only because you don't own the customer data, right? So what I'm going to advocate is that you use the energy that your Amazon business is generating, and you take some of that money and you use it to not only amplify the Amazon business, but also to amplify your own website for your brand. I'm going the wrong way now. How about that? So I advocate for consistent investment. I think that the problem that most people have is they're building their snowball of their brand, and then at some point they start to siphon off the snow. They start pulling money out to live on, pulling money out to party with, pulling money out to just ball out of control on Instagram with Apple Watches and stuff. You know what I mean? So the more you can reinvest back into the snowball, the bigger it gets, and the bigger the asset is. Problem with men's fashion today. Can't even move my arms. Yeah, suits have gotten tight lately. I don't know if you've noticed this. By the way, also, if you're interested in fashion, dudes' shirts have turned into kind of blouses. Like they've got, there's nothing wrong with that, but like I've noticed that as I buy shirts, they get longer and longer and longer. Like when did this start happening? In Brooklyn now, you walk around in Brooklyn and like the shirts are here. And while game recognized game and different strokes for different folks, and I respect that, I like my shirts to be, anyways, whatever. Let's move on. So the point is that so my business was stuck at this. I'm going to make a point here, which is my business was stuck at about $5 million a year for 5 years, and one thing happened that moved me from 5 million to literally 17 million the next year, and then 25.1, and now we're probably on to be about 30 this year. It was one fundamental viewpoint shift about how businesses and advertising function. So I'm known as like the growth guy. So people who have $1 million businesses who want to go to 10 who want to go to 20, they come to me, right? And a lot of these private equity and venture capital firms who are investing a bunch of money in e-commerce right now, who are buying $100 million, $200 million, $50 million e-commerce businesses, when they're vetting the deals, they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, take a look at the analytics, take a look at the advertising accounts, tell us, is this a good deal, and how would you grow it using digital marketing? So I've had the fortune over the last couple of years of looking at retailers who are much bigger than me. Retailers who are doing what we do, but at the $100 million, $200 million level. And I noticed one thing, consistent across all of them, that was what allowed me to go from 7 to 8 figures and now beyond. They all had one visibility source that supported all the rest. Now, I grew up with no money, poor. I bootstrapped my business. I hired all my cousins. Like I did everything like from the ground up. And so the way I looked at advertising was like, if something wasn't profitable, turn that shit off yesterday, right? Like if it's not making money, turn it off. what I noticed was that these bigger companies did not view advertising siloed. They viewed it in aggregate. So what they would have is one channel that supported all the other channels. Amazon, for example. Now, in most cases, it was Google AdWords, Amazon, or organic traffic. That one channel would generate $100,000 a month, let's say, in profit. They would then take $99,000 and go use that to buy customers and buy visibility on other channels, not necessarily profitable or break even, but just buying customers. One channel was supporting all the rest. They were buying more customers, and then at the end of the year, they had way more customers to monetize during like a holiday sale. And that one shift of like taking all the profit that's being made, reinvesting it into paid amplification, being as smart as we can about our paid amplification, which I'm about to show you how to do, doing it as smart as we possibly can, but thinking of the paid amplification as an operating cost of the business, not as a benefit, but as like, I must spend 15 to 30% of my top line revenue back on paid amplification. How can I do this as efficiently as possible? Just assuming that it's built in, what happens is you end up with a much bigger business because you're investing fuel into that building of that snowball, if that makes sense. So you get out what you put in. You gotta not start extracting. You know, live as modestly as you can, reinvest as much as you can back into amplification, and you'll end up with a bigger business. And so what I want you to do is be as smart as you can with that investment and create the best assets possible for your brand, because you know what? An asset is not just a customer. An asset is an email address, someone on a pixeled audience, a Facebook Messenger subscriber, as we're about to discuss. So I want to show you how to generate these assets. Now we're going to transition into some stats. More than half the world now uses a smartphone. If you look at China, which is a mobile-first economy, China is where you want to look to see what's going to happen in the United States, right? They've got about double or triple the population. They've got double or triple the active internet users. They're middle class, about double the size of ours. They're about 5 years ahead of us as it relates to technology. When you look at China, they're the largest e-commerce market in the world, with $1 trillion in e-commerce revenue or GMV, gross merchandise volume, in 2016, up from 672 million in 2015, and expected to be at 2 trillion by 2019. So they're going to double in the next year and a half here, which is kind of amazing. Now, if you look at, that's China, 721, we're going to use this laser pointer, million internet users, right? Now look at us. We are right behind them as a market, with 396 billion, so we're not even half the size of them as far as the size of our e-commerce market in America. Our population is half the size, and our internet users are only 300 million. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you as someone who is a digital marketer who sells physical products on Amazon and otherwise? What it means is mobile. 65% of all the shopping transactions that happen in China happen on a mobile device, one time per month. So people are buying on mobile a lot. And so it's time for us as advertisers to be really aggressive about mobile optimization and mobile strategy. So a few more stats here. Got your legs up, chilling out hard? Right on. It's been a long day, I know, I'm with you. Sometimes I like to just do an awkward pause, just kind of see how, yeah, in conversation, that's kind of fun too. If like you're just talking to someone and then you just test it out, just kind of pause for a second, just see what happens. 67% of consumers start shopping on one device and continue on another, right? So 2/3 of people start on one device and finish the shopping experience on another device. People are moving to bigger devices to make purchases. This is what's happening. They're starting on mobile, and then they're moving to tablets and desktops to finalize that purchase. But all the awareness, all the new searching and visibility, I mean, like, man, 4 out of 5 people carry a smartphone with them every day. When I got into the game, it was desktops and laptops. People sat here like this for 30 minutes at a time. Then we went mobile. We're carrying this thing around with us all the time, so the consumption is much shorter, but it's happening much more often throughout the day. Some guy was in there with his phone in the bathroom. Everyone's on the toilet using their phone. They're in the line at the bank. I mean, I see you. So listen, everyone does it, right? So what's happening is the consumption is happening in smaller periods of time, but much more frequently. So there's more consumption overall. And now we're about to make this jump into wearable technology, augmented reality, and the digital medium, the consumption of the digital medium will be happening all the time, overlaid over your physical reality. This is like, I predicted this in 2014 that it would be, that it would happen in 2015, that mass market wearable technology would hit the market. And then Google Glass came and everyone called them glass holes and like nobody liked them. Remember that? I don't know why nobody liked those guys. They had like an amazing product. They were years ahead of the curve, but nobody liked them. And then Apple actually last year had the first mass market wearable device, which was that watch that really made it mainstream. Who's got an Apple Watch? Anyone in here? Raise your hand. Put them up high for me. I want to say 20% of the room has wearable technology on them that's connected to the digital medium. And what we're going to see is by this time next year, it'll be 40%, and the year after that, it'll be like 85% of people will have some form of wearable technology that will be augmenting their physical reality. We'll get there when the time comes. The beauty of technology is that it catches up for merchants. So you don't have to worry about that now, but you have to worry about is mobile. So because people are moving to bigger devices to make purchase decisions, the first best thing you can do as an advertiser is that 50% of your budget that you're spending on awareness, only run that on mobile phones. Only run it on mobile because you know that's where the conversations are starting. And then when you're retargeting, only retarget so your awareness ads are only on mobile. Turn everything else off just when you're on a small budget. Once you've got a bigger budget, what's up there, cell phone dude? Are you Instagram storying? No? Okay. People be Instagram storying now all day long, everywhere, you know what I mean? Anyways, feel free to tag me on Instagram if you're storying. I would do like a little, thing for you. Camera guy. So when you're on a budget, okay, check this out. If you're on a budget, if you've got a ton of cash, run ads everywhere. But if you're on a budget, run your awareness ads on mobile, run your retargeting on tablet and desktop. Because you know that people start on mobile, you know they finish on tablet and desktop. 67% of people, so 2/3 of people their user behavior is this. So mimic that user behavior in your ads, and you'll immediately see about a 30% reduction in your cost per customer acquisition, just by mimicking the way that people are consuming the digital medium. So my goal today is to give you some tips and some ideas for targeting, for sales funnels, for ad creative, because look, your core sales page is Amazon. So I'm assuming what you're going to do is drive visibility from some platform over to Amazon, or I'm going to advocate that you do that if you're not already doing it. And I don't care so much what the sales funnel looks like, whether it's video ad to landing page, hopefully built in my landing page builder, that then filters through to Amazon, or video ad direct to Amazon, or video ad through a redirect so you can pixel someone who clicked the ad so you can retarget, whatever it is. By the way, anyone in here play with that new Amazon storefront? So Amazon claims now that you can enable conversion tracking on that storefront. If anyone has figured that out, come find me, let me know about it. You figured that out? I want to know about that because you can't pixel it?
It's like the source code.
Let's talk afterwards. I'm curious about this. But anyways, I don't care so much about the sales process that you use. What I care about is having you leave. I got an hour with you, I want you to leave this presentation convinced that you should be spending more on paid amplification for your brand in whatever capacity that you do that, and I want to give you some ideas for how you can achieve that. So there's three main problems with people who attempt paid amplification for their brands, which is a fancy way of saying people who buy ads, right? The first problem is poor targeting. This country is pretty divisive politically right now, right? You got Trump supporters, you got, let's say, you got Bernie. When the election was going on, it was like Hillary versus Trump, right? There was all this like real intensity on both sides. And if you just set aside policy and all that stuff, if you have someone who identifies on one side and you're putting an ad about the other side in front of them, it's not going to work because you are putting it in front of the wrong audience. The first thing with paid amplification is you must put your ads in front of the right people or they're just not going to work. And so you've got some idea of who your people might be, right? You might know, like for example, my biggest product line, I sell to women over 50. That's pretty much, I got a general idea of like, women over 50 are going to be the ones who are going to be relevant for this particular product line. It's a product line that is cosmetics. Everyone who's selling cosmetics is anti-age, anti-wrinkle, anti-women in my opinion, right? Telling women that their value goes down over time, that their value in society is based on youth and beauty and they got to tuck it in and tighten it up and fucking Botox it and all this crazy stuff. And it's like really heavy-duty messaging to receive that men don't receive. All men receive is that their value goes up over time based on how much they produce. If you make money, and so men are, simplified version here is men are valued for production, women are valued for youth and beauty in the eyes of society. I don't buy into that. I obviously think that's not accurate, right? So, but who would have known that like the women who are into running and Whole Foods would be better, you know, like there's, the point here is you got to target properly. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay? We're gonna get into it. We're just gonna move right along, all right? So, the success of your advertising hinges upon your targeting, right? It really does. It really hinges upon how you target. So, a couple quick things that I want to give you specifically to Facebook, because I think that, man, Facebook is by far the best self-serve advertising platform out there. Meaning, if you're going to go out and buy ads on your own behalf, which I recommend doing, use Facebook because it's so easy compared to YouTube, Google Display, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter. Those platforms suck. Facebook's really done a good job on their interface. So specificity. So the first thing that I want you to do is always stack two interests. So here's an example. I say that I want people who've bought cosmetics and people who have shown interest in fitness products. I want both of those. I don't just want cosmetics purchasers or fitness people. I want the stacked, I want the circle, so you have cosmetics and fitness, and then you got the people who fit both. You want to stack them. You want to narrow down and stack interests. So I want people who are fans of Dr. Phil and fans of Ellen, right? This is like, this, if you're talking about, there's two main types of targeting. There's groups of random people based on their data points. So Facebook is in the news right now because of how much data they have on you. They are counting your keystrokes on your computer, and whether or not you ever press enter, those are recorded, right? They know what you bought. They know how old you are. They know where you live. They know what your friends bought. They know they're buying data from other companies on you. Every person has this profile that has thousands of data points attached to it. What we get to do is aggregate those data points to get a group of people that we want to put a message in front of. So right now, I'm assuming you have your general demographic data points. Men, 25 to 35. And then there's these interest-based data points of like, you know, men who are interested in mixed martial arts, for example, right? So that's one type of data, is interest-based targeting, which is what I'm showing you here. The second type of targeting is letting Facebook build audiences for you, which is what we're going to talk about in a minute. So the next thing is that if you could probably see this in Amazon, I don't know, but I would say 80%, like I'm going to give you 5 states: California, New York, Texas, Utah, Pennsylvania, and Florida. California, New York, Texas, Utah, Pennsylvania, Florida. Only run your ads there to start. Again, the idea here is if you're on a budget, be really specific about who you're putting the message in front of. You know for a fact those are your best 7 e-commerce states. Those are where people are going to buy the most. So exclude the other 43 when you're starting out. Use just geographic targeting, right? And if you want to go next level, what you can do is, I'll leave this up there. You could start, like for example, we know for a fact that iPads, for whatever reason, people who own iPads buy the most stuff. I don't know if it's like a classism thing where if you own an iPad, you're in a certain, you know, you just belong to a certain group of people who has a certain amount of money or whatever. So you might say, I want women who are between 35 and 45 who live in California, and I only want to show this ad to them on an iPad, and they have to be past purchasers of cosmetics. You can go to that level. You're not going to be able to scale, but you're going to be profitable. And the idea with ads is figure out how to make it work at a small level, make some money, and then invest in broadening outward. Next type of audience is a lookalike audience, where Facebook is building a group for you. And the way they do this is, let's say you upload a list of all your Amazon buyers' email addresses or your Amazon buyers' phone numbers. I don't know if you can get that or however that works, but let's say you upload a list of some data, or you have like a fan page. You can say, make me a group of people who look similar to the people who are fans of this page. Make me a group of people who look similar to people who watch 95% or more of this video. So if you put a video out on Facebook, you run it as an ad, you can track how much people watched, and the people who watched most of it You can say, find me people who are more like this. The way Facebook does that is they look at the group of people, let's say your Amazon upload of email addresses, they see all their data points, and then they make a list of people who have at least 50 data points in common. So you end up with a really nice group of people who are very similar to your current audience. And those are really the only two targetings you're ever going to use. Interest and demographic targetings or lookalikes. That's kind of it. That's all you need. That's all we need, and we spend like 20 grand a day. The last one I will say is once you start running ads, there's a new kind of audience that you can make where you come into your Facebook ads account, you click on custom audiences like this. This is you can give this to your Facebook advertiser. I'll give you guys these slides. You say that you want engagement on Facebook. That's the type of audience you want to create, is an engagement audience. Then you select your fan page, so you say a page audience, and you'll get these slides, so you don't have to follow it. And you could say anyone who engaged with our fan page, anyone who engaged with a post or an ad. We do this one. Basically, anyone who ever engaged with our fan page, commented on it, liked it, responded to an ad, any engagement. That audience is so profitable because those people have related with you previously. So you can build an audience based on consumption, engagement, things like that. So poor targeting is where people go wrong to start. Make sure you've done some deliberate targeting. Next, big problem I see, is proper framing and selling the click. So physical product business owners, especially folks with impulse buy products, products that are 15 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, that don't have a story, that basically the brand has nothing to offer beyond the product to sell. It's got no story, it's got no reason that it exists, it's got no mission, no purpose, it's just we're selling products. Those people struggle the most with creating advertisements that are effective. So I'm going to give you a couple that I think will work well for you. So the first thing that you got to understand is that the sales cycle that we live in, when I got into the game, and on Amazon, the game that you're used to is search, find, buy. That's it. They search for something, they find it, you show them a product detail page, they buy it. I started in e-commerce back in 2005 when search engine optimization was the visibility source of the day, and drop shipping, not from China, but like American drop shippers, was the way that you got started. And so I'm very familiar with query-based traffic. Query-based traffic is tough because it's finite. There's only X number of people who type in dog bowl every day, right? And when you look at this new world of e-commerce, which is really driven by multi-data point contextual targeting, i.e. the ability to target people based on context that we have about them, data points that we have on them on Facebook, is a much longer sales cycle because it's not starting with search intent. And this is where I see a lot of Amazon advertisers in particular getting frustrated and feeling like they've failed because they're used to running ads on Amazon where someone searches for something, they find it, and then they buy it, and the sales cycle's really quick. I want to show you the sales cycle you should expect on Facebook. So this is a 14-day window. This is people who commented on one of my Facebook posts and ultimately ended up making a purchase. 1% of people purchase within the first 14 days. Now we go out to 28 days. So this is now 28 days. So basically they commented on my post that then led to an ad and led to my led to my website where they could buy. They commented on the Facebook post and then ended up making it to the website at some point and then purchasing. By 28 days, our conversion rate has doubled. So in the first 14 days, one of 100 people that came, one of them had purchased. In the next 14 days, now 2 people out of that initial 100 have purchased. Now, when we go out to 90 days, and I did almost just fall off the stage. When we go out to 90 days, look at that, we're at 4%. Your sales cycle is much longer than you think, which means that the content that you're amplifying and the way that you're sequencing it, which I'm about to show you how to do, needs to be much longer than you think. So this is another example of a much longer sales funnel. This is an article page. This is a product page on our store. This is our shopping cart. This is the initiate checkout. This is Facebook's analytics, by the way. Facebook has a really nice analytics infrastructure that you can use that's kind of a competitor to Google Analytics if you're an advertiser. So anyways, you can see most people bail at the article. About 20% of the people who make it from the Facebook ad, which isn't shown here, about 20% of the people who make it to the article visit a product page, etc. So In the first 7 days, we're at 1% of people buying within a week. By 14 days, we're at oh no, what's happening? You know, what happened was I did this in Keynote, and then they switched it to PowerPoint, and that kind of messed it up a little bit. I had some like flames and stuff I was real proud of. Anyways, you are not getting to experience the flames. 1.3% is purchased. By 28 days, we're almost at 2%. So the sales cycle when you're advertising on Facebook and even sending someone to Amazon is longer than you think. So what I want to talk to you about is the first piece of content that you put in front of someone, the awareness level, the top line level. It needs to be a video. The reason is it gives you a way to communicate with people, and they never have to leave the social platform. They can be on Facebook or Instagram consuming a video about the value proposition of your product. You're tracking how much of that video they watch and following up with them with ads based on how much they consumed. One guy's sleeping, that's okay though. These things are intense, you know, it's fluorescent lights, you're in a room listening to people all day. It's all right. So top line videos. This is our 3 pillars of that. I didn't mean to call you out, man. I'm sorry. Feel free to take a nap. No, I mean, really, I'm not offended, honestly. Poor guy. Poor guy can't even catch a nap, man. What's up? So this is our little structure here. We have awareness and acquisition, which is where we're getting our products in front of new people. We've got retargeting, where we're re-engaging people who already have seen one of our ads. And then we've got loyalty, where we're following up with people and remarketing to them after they bought. This is your most important pillar here, the awareness pillar, where we're targeting people with lookalike audiences or saved audiences that we just discussed. This is your most important one because it's getting new people in the door. And where I see most people mess up with this is on the actual video. So I want to give you some tips on the video that you're going to use to market your ad. The first thing is make sure it's a square, not a rectangle. You can have your video editor very easily do this. Square videos get 28% more views than landscape videos. They get more likes and shares than landscape videos. They take up 78% more screen space on mobile than landscape videos, and they have a 67% higher completion rate than square videos. It doesn't seem like it would make a big difference, but it makes a huge difference. So make sure when you edit the video that the final file is a square, not a rectangle. This is some examples. What you can see here is we always have a headline, a few emojis. We found emojis in the ads work really well, and a call to action link above the video. So they don't have to wait for the video to end before they can click over to Amazon or over to the landing page. Now what you can't see is the background behind this header and the background behind these captions is blue here and it's pink here. So the video file this is the video, but when we edit it, we put an upper third and a lower third on there. We actually make the video file a square and we add an extra headline and we add our own very large captions. Our video editor takes a normal video and sticks a little bit above it and a little bit below it and puts text and colors. And when you download the slides, you'll be able to see what this actually looks like.
You can see it on the TV.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So you can see that.
So caption above and below?
So the top is an extra headline. What we found was these headlines will be the difference between profitable or not profitable. So Facebook gives you one headline, which is here. We stick an extra headline on our video that's a little more, because with awareness, we're trying to get people's attention. So we want to be sensational. We want to be polarizing. The too old and too fat model, obviously what we're saying is that women are told they can't model, that they're too old or that they're too fat, and that's a bunch of horse shit. But the headline is compelling, right? So the point is, pardon my language, I don't know if anyone wants to swear up here, I apologize. Listen, I'm great at e-commerce, yeah. Okay, moving on. So then we put our own captions. We don't use Facebook's captions. We add our own much larger text captions because about 80% of videos start with no audio playing. So we want much larger captions on the video file than Facebook provides. So we add those ourselves. And then again, you can see the emojis in the actual ad unit. Look at this one. This performs super well. You can see the black, this is the video file right here. but we put this above and we put the captions below, and we found that to make our product videos get consumed a lot more. So, when it comes to running a video about a physical product, the storyline and the length of the video are very important. So this is our best structure for a video, and I'm going to give you about 10 structures for videos, and then I'm going to show you how we leverage all of those. Our best structure is where we start with some kind of an eye-catching opener, something that's a pattern interrupt, something that gets people's attention, right? Like had I walked up here with no shoes on, that would have gotten your attention. It would have been a pattern interrupt. It would have been something different than what you're seeing from everyone else, right? So something that gets people's attention, we open with that. And that could literally be like if you sell a mask, someone applying the mask, because that's very visually compelling, right? Then we go into some kind of story that is related to the problem that the product solves. Some kind of a story about, now we are big fans of like 10-minute videos. The price point of your product is going to dictate how long your video is. Like if you have a $20 product, you don't need a 10-minute video, right? But my average order value is like $100. So I've got a much longer video. I'm telling a longer story. The difference between low ticket and high ticket is the length of time in a sales cycle. Just a little bit of context for you on selling stuff. I have sold everything from $18 costume wigs. I was the #1 retailer of mullet wigs in America a couple years running. I was selling wigs. I had a whole thing going. This is like '08, but up to like $100,000 lots of land in Uruguay, to $50,000 development deals to Magento stores. The only difference between low end and high end is how long you've got to hold someone in a sales cycle. Someone's ready to buy a low ticket item right now. It's like pull out your credit card, $30, no problem. Something that's $1,500, like my company Smart Marketer that sells educational courses for folks like you who are business owners, those are $1,500 items. I have to build a relationship. I need a much longer sales cycle than a few minutes. So anyways, we tell some form of compelling story that relates to the problem that our product solves. Then we go into a demo. Ownership benefit of the product. What is the benefit of owning this product? Why is it good for you? We demonstrate the product, we demonstrate its use cases, and then we end with a customer testimonial. This is our most winning structure that we've ever found for a video. Most of the videos we have out there right now follow this structure. Now, there's a lot of video structures. This is my favorite one. This is my absolute favorite sales video structure that I use real often. It's a story, and it's like, hey, this is who I am. It's a personal story about a person's experience with a product. So let me explain it to you. This is who I am, and this is my experience. Here's what happened to me. I was diagnosed with diabetes, and man, it was real tough, and I didn't know, like, I had all these negative experiences, and I wasn't sure what happened, and here's why it's relevant to you. It's relevant to you because, like, you don't realize this, but 80% of the foods out there in the grocery stores have high fructose corn syrup in there, but it's not labeled as high fructose corn syrup. So here's why this problem is relevant to you. Here's why you are also potentially going to experience this problem that I experienced. And then we go into, here's what I did about it. I changed my eating habits, and I started using a couple products, and my results were great. All this amazing stuff happened for me, and this is the thing that helped me. That's when you go into the product pitch, product demo. But it's a person's story where they talk about the problem that the product solves, their experience, they agitate that problem, their experience with the problem. They talked about why the problem is widely relevant, so who else is experiencing the problem, talk about what they did about it, share their results, and then say, this is the product. Is this making sense? This is like the classic infomercial style sales pitch that I don't care if you got an air filter, this works, you know. Hey, you don't realize this, but like there's a bunch of crap in the air that you're breathing in, you know, or whatever, you know. The next most common one for impulse buys is problem agitation solution. This is the best type of sales video for someone who sells an impulse buy product. Here's a good example of it. You know those leather sleeves that fit in between your two car seats? You ever seen these things? So basically they got this video, and it's like a gal sitting in her car, and she drops her phone in between the seats, and she's all agitated, she can't find it, right? So that's like the problem, and agitating the problem. And you experience this problem too. You drop your phone in your car, you can't get it. They take this little leather wallet, they stick it in between the seats, she then drops her phone in there, and she reaches in, picks it right out. So it shows the ownership benefit of the product, it shows a demonstration of the product in use, it shows the problem and agitates that problem, and it all happens in 45 seconds. These videos are phenomenal for lower ticket prices and their products, and they're also phenomenal for retargeting someone who watched a longer video when you just want to talk about the product. You're like, they know who you are, they've consumed a little bit about your story, and now you just want to get them back in and sell them your product. This is more of a traditional sales letter style video, and I'm going to give you these slides, so I'm not going to run you through every single video outline that I have, but you could shoot all of these videos with one person in one day. You could do them all with voiceover and slides. Like, you don't have to get on camera. You don't need a professional video crew. The audio on your iPhone is good enough. You could do all of these, every video that we have here, straight up product demonstration video where you're just demonstrating the product in use and its ownership benefits, opening the box video, what it's like to receive the product at home, how it, what the box looks like, what, the experience of receiving it, customer testimonials, which are always focused on the ownership benefit. We incentivize everyone who buys from us. We say, hey, we'll give you a $10 gift certificate. You pull out your iPhone, show our product, show your face, shoot a little 30-second video that says you bought from us, you loved it, and here's what you love about the product. Send it to us in email. We'll send you a gift certificate. These are our best videos for retargeting, just a customer being like, I love this thing. We get like 50 of those a month. Short product demonstrations. I'll show you those in a minute. So the idea here is you shoot a bunch of videos. Then you stitch them together to make a whole bunch more. So we probably have like 15 top-line videos like that, but then we cut them up. We do a 10-minute version, we do a 5-minute version, we do a 3-minute version. You should have a product sales video that fits at every one of these lengths. Why? The reason is Facebook knows who's more apt to watch a longer video, who's more apt to watch a shorter video. There's certain placements on mobile where only shorter videos run, like in between videos when you're watching videos on Facebook or Instagram. So you want all of these different lengths, and then you just stick them in the same ad set and you let them run, and Facebook figures out where to put them. The idea here is you spend a day creating video assets for your product, you stitch them all together in a bunch of different ways to create multiple lengths of sales videos for your product. And then you do that once. We did one shoot, and we've been running ads for like 9 months on that one shoot. But you got to invest in creating the asset, and you'll have these storylines, and you can look at my site and see how we do it. But this is the most important thing when it comes to driving traffic from an outside source into Amazon, is the pre-selling through the video before they get there. Because remember, they weren't looking for this thing. So is this relevant to you, by the way? Are you enjoying this? Yeah? Okay. When we're retargeting people, when we're saying, hey, someone watched 75% of this video, we want to follow up with them. Hey, someone clicked this ad and made it over to Amazon. Think about this. Right now, if you're sending traffic directly to Amazon, I advocate for filtering people through a landing page where you can collect their email address, where you can pixel them so you can follow up them as now they're on a pixeled audience, where you can get them to sign up for Facebook Messenger. So I'm an advocate of, if you're going to send traffic outside of Amazon into it, that you filter them through a page first to collect some data. But even if you're not doing that, if you're just sending direct to Amazon, you should still retarget for 3 days. You're not going to be able to tell if they bought, right? Because Amazon's not going to let you fire a pixel. Doesn't matter. If someone watches a video on Facebook and they click the ad over to Amazon or not, those people you want to retarget for at least 3 days, just to remind them that you exist, to get them while they're hot. And we know that sales cycles are very long, so I would recommend, as you have more money, elongating that retargeting. But when we're talking about retargeting, it's all about the creative. So we have this advertising roadmap where we have a goal here. So our goal is like a sale, an opt-in, or to generate engagement. We have the targeting, which I just kind of touched on, who we're targeting, where we're targeting them, what demographics they fit into, what interests they fit, what consumer data points we have on them. And then this is the part that really makes it work. Once you've dialed in the targeting, the creative, which is the video that I just talked to you about. This is the next sort of big thing that you've got to make work. And when we're talking about the retargeting point, where someone has seen one thing from you before and now you're trying to get their attention again, you've got to make sure these are extremely compelling. And so I would recommend having a graphic designer on file who can iterate. Like, the cool thing about images is they're so easy to create. Someone can do all of these images in one day. It's not hard to use stock photography. By the way, you'll notice a theme with our images. They're all going to show a hero shot of the product. They're all going to have a person's face and a lower or upper third, right? Most commonly, you're going to see a hero shot of the product, you're going to see some lower third or upper third of text, and you're going to see someone's face. That's not on accident. It's because we have tested literally thousands of iterations of images, and these three elements, almost just fell again, these three elements, I might just step over once. These three elements are what you want in the images that you're putting out there. They're the most compelling. For some reason, people like to look at people's faces and click on them. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's just a thing, you know? So have someone who's creating compelling images that show your product off. This is just some examples, right? Same thing, hero shot, call to action on the product. Now, these are if you have products that are easy to, this is a 10-second product demonstration video for our serum. This was cheap to produce, and these ads perform really well. So if you have a product that's very easy to demonstrate, after you've told a little bit of a story and after you've done the heavy lifting in a traditional awareness sales video, when you're retargeting the people who consumed some of that or clicked over to Amazon or visited your web page, you want to do, in addition to images, some short-form demonstration content. And this can be the same. This can be just clipped out of what you created in that one day when you did a video shoot. If you're running ads to your own website and not to Amazon, and you're able to track conversions, think about your retargeting as a story-based sequence. Let me explain that to you. So, imagine someone views one of your videos on Facebook, clicks over to your website, and that's it. For the first 3 days, so 3 days after, the first 3 days or 7 days after they, let's go with a week. The first 7 days after they visit your website, show them a customer testimonial. Then, create a group of people who consumed 50% of the video or clicked to the website in the last 14 days but did not buy. Exclude the people from the first 7 days. So now we're targeting that same user from day 7 to day 14. Are you following me? We did day 1 to day 7 with a customer testimonial. Day 7 to day 14, we're showing off an ownership benefit video. Day 14 to day 21, we're saying get 15% off of this product on Amazon if you buy right now. We're sequencing the messaging over a long period of time. I would recommend at least 30 days, but up to 90 if you've got the budget. So that is what will make, most people throw up a retargeting ad and they just let it run. You want to sequence that communication so that for the first 7 days they see a testimonial, then the next 7 days they see an ownership benefit video, then the next 7 days they see some kind of a deal. So you're having different pieces of content for each sort of bucket of how far away they are from the time they engaged with you. That's kind of a funny looking guy, huh? Little guy peering down. He's kind of creepy. What are you doing up there, dog? Just peering over? You guys are, you know, they say at conferences that after lunch is really tough because people are just like tired and kind of chilling out. I'm still happy to be here though. So we use GIF videos in our emails, and what we found is that if we take these GIFs that we create, if we take these GIFs that we're using for our emails and we turn them into ads, these work really well as video ads. So if you ever create a GIF image for an email that you send out, what you can do is you can just reuse that, turn it into a video, and use it as an ad. It works super duper well. These are some of our best performing ads, and all it is a stop. It's just 3 images in stop motion. And if you go to giphy.com, giphy.com, they have a free GIF maker that you can use that's super good. giphy.com, Giphy. It's also where you get all the fun GIFs that you could ever want to use in text message threads with your friends, if you want to be silly. You know what I'm talking about? When someone sends you a silly GIF, it's kind of fun. Okay, whatever. All right, let's move on. This is another example, right, of a moving GIF. And we also take the videos that we shoot for our products, we turn those into GIFs that we put in our emails too. So we're kind of repurposing the content in a number of different ways. 3 goals for your ad. Frame the prospect. So get them in the right frame of mind by telling a bit of a story. get them to consume. So the idea is, man, some people are willing to watch 4 to 5 minutes of video content on your brand. So you should have at least one asset that's that long because some people are going to watch it. And then get them to click. So always end in a call to action on your ad. Now, the last big problem that I see is once people get folks, they target properly, they've got good creative they put in front of someone, they're not doing good engagement post-click or good selling. So after they generate a click and get some over to their website, for you guys, Amazon does most of that for you, but we'll cover a little bit about that now. So what your business is fundamentally is a group of people and multiple communication mediums. That's it. You got a group of people and you communicate with them on Amazon, you communicate with them by running ads, and you communicate with them by sending emails. I mean, when I first got into the game, I thought of a brand as email. That's it. What a brand was an email list. It was the only way you could communicate with someone. Then pixeled audiences came around. Anyone remember? This is about 2010, 2011. The idea that you could communicate with someone whose email address you didn't have. They just visited your website. Or now, they watched 50% of your video on Facebook. They never even visited your website. You have this audience of people who have engaged with you in some way. Consumed a video on Facebook, visited your website, clicked an ad. These are called pixeled audiences. These are the big two ways that brands communicate with their subscriber database. That's it. That's all your brand is. When I say go use Amazon to build a brand, I mean use the money you're making on Amazon and invest it in ads that get people on your email list and get people on your pixeled audiences. That's creating an asset for you. Now, there's a third one. That was a cool little thing. Check this out. Bam! I'm going to turn the page on you. Wait, no, I'm not. Did it work? Hold on. Hold on. Wait for it. It's coming. Turn the page on you. Wait for it. There it is. Come on. It's pretty fancy. Hey, I can give that a round of applause. There's a third way to communicate with customers and prospects, and it is going to be the biggest one of all within like 4 or 5 years, and it's called Facebook Messenger, Facebook Messenger List. If you look at China, there's this one app, it's called WeChat, and it's where people book their travel, it's where people find their Tinders or whatever, they do their dating in there, you know what I mean? Right? You find your Tinder matches in there. You buy. Is that funny? What's wrong with that? You buy stuff in there. I missed out on online dating. It was before my time. I kind of just missed it. Like, yeah, my wife and I got together. Anyways, I missed online dating, so I don't know how that all works. But the point is, they have this one app. There's one app. It's called WeChat, and everything happens in there. All these apps on your smartphone, they're all consolidating down into Facebook Messenger. Facebook opened up their API. So I live in New York, and in New York right now, I can order my Uber inside of Messenger, I can order my food inside of Messenger. So Apple, with their iMessage, if they want to keep up with Facebook, is going to have to open up that API for third-party apps. And everything's going to consolidate down into one channel. Instead of a million apps, you're going to do it all in one. It's just easier. So, what am I doing? I'm going the wrong way. Sorry. Down is up in this thing's world, so a little confusing. But we are going to leverage messenger communication as a way to facilitate conversations and sales as e-commerce businesses. It's coming. It's already here, and you can be ahead of the curve. What a Facebook Messenger bot is basically you as a subscriber, you message, and then they reply back. So basically you say, what's the price of this product? And then it replies, it's $39 or whatever, right? I'm going to explain to you the difference between Facebook Messenger, email communication, and text communication because they're a little bit different. But these things are coming, and they're going to be everywhere. They're the future of how we do all of our communication, is chatbots and in a messenger platform. So if your goal is to make sales, if your goal is to increase your ranking on Amazon, to get reviews on Shopify and Amazon, and to build your brand assets using paid amplification. That is messenger subscribers, email subscribers, and pixeled audiences. Those are as important as customers because over time, as I stated with the multi-hundred-million-dollar e-commerce businesses, over time, these assets turn into customers if you do good marketing. So we want to use advertising and amplification to build these assets and also generate sales. And so the way I want you to think of Messenger is kind of like text message and email combined. So what Messenger has is it's got the instant delivery and attention that text gets. If you think about text messaging, I don't want anyone nobody calls me. Like my mom calls me and my wife calls me. Anyone else calls me, I don't pick it up. It's like, why are you calling me? You should be texting me, right? Messaging is how we communicate with our most intimate people. It's where we have our most intense conversations. It's like how we as a society communicate is messaging. And when you look at text messages, they all get opened, and Facebook messages get opened like 80% of the time, 90% of the time, which if you compare that to email, it's way more. Email gets opened like 20% of the time. But it also has the attractiveness of email. So it's got the sort of immediacy that text message has, but you get buttons, images, videos, behavioral automation, being able to follow up if they click or don't click, you know what I mean? You can do a lot with it that you can do in email. So it's kind of a combination of those. And within 5 years, they're going to replace, like already, for me, as a content provider, my website is pretty much obsolete. People only go to my website to like enter their email address or purchase something. All of the consumption happens on social media. Basically, my website as a blogger, I'm a blogger. I'm a prominent blogger in this community, meaning I put out content on a regular basis. I amplify that content in front of people like you. You subscribe by watching that content. That's a way to subscribe. If you watch the content, you're now subscribed because I see how much you watched and then I follow up with you based on it by liking my fan page or visiting my blog and entering my email address. But basically, my website as a blogger is already like mostly obsolete. So Messenger and social platforms, I call this integrated social commerce. Where we're going is the commerce is going to happen in the content consumption experience. Someone's going to watch the video, they're going to like the product, they're going to purchase it right in the Facebook newsfeed. And Amazon's going to have an integration into Facebook and into Facebook Messenger. Shopify's going to have an integration into Facebook and Facebook Messenger. We won't really have websites in half a decade. It'll be a lot different. But right now, 95%, please turn your phones off for me. Someone. Anyways, or don't turn your phone off. 95% of businesses have not adopted Messenger yet. I know I've only got like 5 minutes. I'm about to finish up here. 95% of people haven't adopted it yet. So you can still be a first mover, and you could take advantage of building a Messenger subscriber database while it's cheap. So I built an email list of 100,000 people when it was like 5 cents for a click on Google AdWords. That email list was worth millions of dollars. And I monetized it over time, but I got in while it was the right time to get in. If you look at all the people who got into the Amazon game in 2010, when you could slap a product up and it would just rank super easy, and I was one of those people. I slap a product up there, it would rank super easy, we'd make a bunch of money. It was great. It was a great time to be getting into Amazon. Right now, you still have about a 12-month head start on Messenger from every other e-commerce business owner. Nobody is doing this yet, but it's time. And I want to give you the first couple steps for how you can do that. And it's never going to be as easy again as it is right now to build a Messenger database for your brand, especially if you're an Amazon brand. The beauty of building a Messenger database as an Amazon brand is then when you have a communication that you want to make, like a sale or a new product announcement or some kind of a discount, you send a Facebook Messenger broadcast to that group of people the same way you would send an email broadcast. Think of Messenger as email 2.0. It's a group of people who you communicate with, but it's way cheaper to generate a Facebook Messenger subscriber right now than it is to generate an email subscriber, and they're 5 to 10 times more valuable. So how exactly do you do it? I'm going to give you the first 4 steps right now. This is the service that allows your Facebook fan page to broadcast and send messages to someone on Facebook. I use ManyChat, full disclosure. I'm an investor in this company. I'm an advisor for this company. But I was using them before I ever invested in them and before I was on their advisor board. I think they're really great, and they're who I use for my brand. They have a free plan. Their paid plan's only like $10. So they give you the ability to do the communicating. Then, any audience you already have, transition them into Facebook. My goal is if you're a subscriber, I want you on my Facebook Messenger list. I want you on my email list. I want you on my pixeled audience. Right? I want you in every one of those buckets, because when I have a communication like a sale that I'm running, I'm going to Facebook message broadcast you about it, I'm going to email broadcast you about it, and I'm going to run ads about it. And you're going to see it on one of those channels. The brands who have presence on multiple channels as it relates to who they're communicating with have the most impact. So if you have an email list, you email them, and you say, click this email to join my Facebook Messenger list, right? Click this email and you'll join my Facebook Messenger list. ManyChat has this feature called a ref URL, right? It's a messenger URL, and you're going to get to experience this when you get my slides. I'm going to use one of these. So basically, what it is it's a URL that you can put in an email. So this is like the URL. They click this. When they click this URL, it opens up Facebook Messenger. So this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like in ManyChat. Super easy to set up. But they get an email. They click the email. That opens up Facebook Messenger. Then they're like, OK, sweet, I want to be on the list. And now they're on the list. 2 clicks. With just 2 clicks, they are a subscriber. This, for us, when we send an email, just to give you context on this, I sent an email to 200,000 email subscribers, and I made the same amount of money. I had the same amount of opens, clicks, revenue that I did from a list of 10,000 Facebook subscribers. Facebook subscribers are worth, in any given market, worth 5 to 20 times what an email subscriber is right now. Only for the next 12 to 18 months. Then it's going to become just like email. The open rates will be 20 or 30%. It'll be, it'll still be a good channel, but it won't be as valuable as it is for the next 12 to 18 months. So we're now putting these on our blog posts, on our website. Click this button to get into Facebook. Everywhere we can, we're trying to get people into Facebook Messenger. The next thing that you want to do is create what's called a main menu. So inside of ManyChat, you can create this thing called a main menu, which is here on the left. And what it allows you to do is when someone's Facebook messaging you, there's a little thing in the bottom that pops up a little menu. And I'll show you here what it looks like. So basically, the goal of the menu is to help people find what they're looking for quickly. So it's probably got a link to your products, a link to your refund policy, a link to any content you might have. So for Boom, this is what it looks like. It's like, who is Cindy? Do you want to subscribe to notifications, or do you want to know more? If they click more, you can watch a makeup demo. You can find out what questions you can ask the bot. You can visit our store. If you look at Smart Marketer, I'm like, do you want a free training or do you want customer support? If they select free training, I'm like, OK, sweet. Do you want more traffic, more conversions, more repeat sales? So it's a way for when someone is Facebook messaging you, talking to you through Messenger, which is what we're going to use paid amplification to get them to do, they've got a list of things. It's a one-time setup, and it links to your most relevant content, which for Amazon businesses is probably your products. OK, so those are the first 3 things you should do. I have a couple questions I want to end with. I had an hour. I tried to get as much as I could in the hour. But like, what you want to look at is like, what are you doing as a business? Are you going out and trying to spear a fish today, running sponsored ads and only ever focusing on Amazon? Or are you farming? Are you planting mango seeds and watering them every day and watching those groves grow to feed your family for generations? I want to be a farmer. I don't want to be a hunter. I'm in it for the long haul. The reason I've been an influencer and been in this industry for 13 years is because I take it slow and steady. I'm very deliberate. I don't try to burn myself out by hustling too hard and working 18 hours a day. Like, you get to choose how you be in relationship to your business, and how you be in relationship to your business dictates how your business does. So take a slower growth approach and you'll have more success in the long term. It's a marathon. And the main problem that I see with e-commerce business owners is people are not investing enough. They're not investing enough of the revenue that they generate back into ads. They're putting it into product expansion, and they're putting it into shit that does not grow the company. It's like, I'm all about expanding the product line. I'm all about building the team, but like not at the expense of paid amplification, because paid amplification is what grows the audience, which is then gives you someone you can sell more products to. So you have to do that first. You get out what you put in. Take your 2017 top line number, right? Just think about it in your head, the amount of money that you made in 2017, and commit to yourself to put 20 to 30% of that back into amplification and advertising for the next 12 months, and your business will grow. I run a mastermind group of 7 and 8 and 9 figure e-commerce business owners, and even in that group, I give this same advice, and the people who follow it consistently see growth year over year. They're like, man, I just wasn't spending enough back into ads. So investment creates growth in the long term. And the beauty of spending money on ads over time is it then incentivizes you to optimize your ad spend. I didn't go into sales processes and sales funnels. You can find that on my blog. I want to convince you that you should be doing this because it's going to grow your business. And then as you're spending that money, you're then incentivized to make it work good. So then you spend time optimizing the ads because you're spending the money on the ads. So The more you put in, the bigger the snowball grows. You're on the right track. I mean, obviously you're willing to invest in your business because you showed up at an event, you left your house and your home, you flew over here. Like, it's a lot to get here. So you're already willing to invest. So just double down on that. One of the things to remember about life is that, and this is my last thing and I'm out of here, the skill set that you want is mastery. That's the skill set as a human being that you want, which really actually is just the willingness to put your attention in one area consistently. Pick up an instrument, 30 minutes a day, you get better at it. Spend an hour a day on direct response advertising to grow your business, you get better at it. As a business owner, this is what you want to not sleep on. Don't delegate this, don't outsource this at first. Understand it yourself before you outsource it so that you can really be paying attention to it, because it's the fuel that pushes the car that is your business. You can get my slides at smartmarketer.com/resonate. My name is Ezra Firestone. Thank you so much.